for all our radio stations. Internet, welcome to Downtown Dave.
Thank you.
What's new in the world of Internet? What's going on?
New technologies. Let's see. There's a couple of new technologies where people from their homes and small businesses can almost run a television station off their personal computers and notebooks.
How do they do that?
They've the two sites that are readily available for anyone to start like a television station is like livestream.com and ustream.tv, and you can broadcast anything from what you're watching on television to your opinions on events, politics, or whatever, and it's pretty neat.
So it's like TV for a blogger.
Exactly.
Right.
You can archive it. You can play it back. You can embed it in your website.
Wouldn't a lot of people that blog don't want anybody to know who they are. They'd have to wear a disguise if they're going to go on the tube.
That's true. And there's actually a piece of software called ManyCam, M as in Michael, A-N-N as in Nancy, Y, Cam, that you can actually do a video capture, and instead of capturing your own video, you can actually put like a cartoon figure on there or a logo, so you actually don't even have to. People don't have to see who you are.
By the way, Internet John is surrounded by two Great Danes. One weighs 130, one weighs 105, and they're crushing him in his chair here. If you're watching on, that's his camera that you're looking at, and they won't do anything to you unless you move quickly.
I'm surprised they haven't chewed on the mic yet.
Yeah, just move slowly. It seems to me that technology with the camera might have some dating possibilities. Somebody might open a dating site.
You'd be surprised what you see on especially Ustream. It's not regulated, so you can broadcast anything you want. Some of it shouldn't be on there,
right?
But for a majority's sake, it's pretty cool. A lot of tech guys are doing podcasts. Instead of audio, they're doing also video. So what they're doing is they're capturing their screen and showing tutorials on how to do podcasting or how to blog or how to, there's different varieties of things that these guys are doing. It's pretty cool.
Should the Internet have more controls, in your opinion? Well, first of all, how did you get started in the Internet? Let's start with that.
Well, I used to own a motel in Clearwater Beach back in the early 90s, and when it was slow, back in the day before the Internet, before Al Gore invented the Internet, they used to have bulletin boards, and you would dial up with a dial-up modem, and it looked like a little chat room, and you would chat. And then when the Internet went public, I decided to make a website for the motel to see if we can attract more visitors. And out of nowhere, we were getting people from different parts of the world that we've never had before. We had people from Holland, Sweden, Denmark. It was awesome.
Did you actually get customers off the Internet?
Yeah.
So it worked.
And then what happened was all the other moteliers and hotels said they heard, because they were doing TV broadcasts on how a small motel guy is using the Internet to benefit. And then we started building web pages for businesses.
Who did invent the Internet? I heard that it was not Al Gore. It was actually former President Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, great. Jimmy Carter. No, there was a professor, I think von Cerf. Honestly, don't hold me to this. I believe it was von Cerf that created the Internet backbone structure.
I know what it does,
don't hold me to it.
But how does it do it? Can you explain it in layman's terms? What happens?
Hundreds and thousands of routers communicating with each other, connecting to different fiber backbones all over the world. It's incredible.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. But no one owns it.
Any idea worldwide how many people access it every day?
Oh God,
It's got to be in the billions.
It's got to be billions.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like every you've got
and
your.
It's still growing.
Yeah, you've got your iPhone. Even though people say I don't have a computer, most of their phones
are computers.
Yeah, like your iPhone. Yeah. Even though I know you use a computer as well, but a lot of these guys with iPhones, iTouches, Windows mobile phones, Blackberries, they all have access to the Internet and their emails.
Okay, now I have an iPhone here. It's the middle range 3G model.
Okay.
How much power does that have? Approximately.
probably more power than they had to land the Apollo astronauts on the moon.
And about 25 years ago, we bought a radio station in Honolulu and went talk. We were the first talk station in Hawaii, KWAI, and it had a computer that would fill this room, and it did our log, or our listing of what we were going to do each day. It took it 3.5 hours of chugging away to do the log, and it was 16K.
Wow.
And the machine cost $50,000.
Wow.
The previous owner had bought it. Took all day to do a log. Now, Lola Jean, the broadcast queen, does the log in about 7 or 8 minutes using a computer. This iPhone has more power than that thing that filled the whole room.
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah.
Probably times 100.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here? Are we going to get more and more power and less space?
Smaller and smaller. They even have now watches that have internet access on them. So it's getting smaller and smaller.
So the famous Dick Tracy telephone watch probably is a reality.
Yeah.
And even more than Dick Tracy could imagine.
Yeah. The Get Well Smart phone or shoe's going to turn into a portable computer.
Well,
it actually does. The Nike shoes, if you have an iPod, there's a little transmitter on your shoes that it'll actually track how far you're running.
Okay. Now, is the government more intrusive with the use of the internet and computers? Isn't it easier for them to keep track of what you're doing?
Oh, it's definite. You know, just like President Barack Obama said, you know, watch what you post on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, because 20, 30 years down the road, it might haunt you. It's going to come
back and haunt you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you run for office and you put some dirty stuff on the internet when you were 14 years old.
You're right.
It's going to knock you out of office.
You're right. It's not like people that are in their 40s, 50s, or whatever running for office. Everything back then was if you typed something or if it was on paper. Now it's anything from emails to, like I said, YouTube videos to comments that you post on editorials of newspapers. You got to watch what you're doing.
Are you a blogger?
Lately, yeah, I have. I've had a lot of frustrations built up, and I just release it.
What are your frustrations?
Well, when you start hearing everyone talking about racism and everything is based on if a white person or a black person doesn't agree with the other color or the other sex or whatever, the word racist pops out instantly. Like Jimmy Carter's thing yesterday. It's like
that everybody's a racist.
Everyone's a racist, and what I found out is most of the people that are bickering about racism are racist themselves. That's what I've concluded.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. Now, you're from a Canadian perspective. You were born in Canada,
yep.
Right? And other than weather, why did you come south?
Weather. It's weather.
What's wrong with 30 below zero? I don't understand that.
Actually, Toronto. You see, I was born and raised in Toronto, so it's unpredictable. It's like London. One morning you'll wake up, it's snowing, and by afternoon it's raining. And it's miserable. The winters there are absolutely miserable. I'd rather it be minus 30 every day, knowing that's going to be cold, than one day being in Celsius, being plus 5 and then minus 10 within one day.
Yeah, that's true. How many countries are trying to control the internet? I know China is trying to put controls on it. Iran, they said, is putting strong controls on it. Are they going to work, or is the internet going to prevail?
Well, most of the dictatorship countries and communist countries are trying to put a cap on it, and they kind of can, because if there's fiber or the main trunk of the internet that's coming into the country, the government, if they can control it, they can put their own routers right before that pipe and saying, hey, you can't go to CNN.com or you can't go to FoxNews.com or whatever. So they can kind of regulate.
They can
that
block
part.
certain parts of the internet.
Yes, but with hackers and kids these days, they're very smart to fool routers, so they can people in these countries can actually get around that.
Now, when you were growing up, when you were in let's say grade school, were there computers then?
Wow.
Or was it back in the punch card era?
Let's see. Well, actually, in 5th grade, our classroom got a Commodore. It wasn't even a PET. It was a Commodore I forgot what the model number was. It looked like the old McDonald's cash registers. It wasn't even a physical keyboard. It was like a little touchpad.